Hey, Katie. Oh my God. Are we really doing this?
We are. Welcome to Higher Downloads, where two moms, entrepreneurs, and spiritual seekers are getting real about doing our best to live life in alignment.
Yeah, and by getting real, we mean the raw, unfiltered voice memo version of ourselves.
And you know what we're really obsessed with lately: higher
hmm
downloads.
You know that moment when clarity arrives seemingly from nowhere? That's it. That's the higher download from your highest self.
Exactly, because we know everyone has the ability to access their own higher downloads. So nothing is off limits here. Everything in the wheel of life, from career, spirituality, motherhood, relationships.
Yep, everything. And really through the lens of higher consciousness and joy. And we have to share our higher downloads too, right? So grab your coffee
Or your crystals, or whatever you need to have fun with us.
and get ready to tune in to your own wisdom channel because receiving higher downloads means you can live your life in HD.
Higher Downloads starts now. Welcome to Higher Downloads.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad we're doing this again.
I know, I have to say, we're just starting new at this and every great journey has a beginning. But I
Yeah.
have to be honest that the morning after we recorded our first couple episodes, well, I sent you the note, but I'll share with everyone. I was like, man, the morning hits different when you're a podcast host, like when you've really created something you care about. So I've just been feeling on a high a little bit since our last episode, and I just keep imagining all the people who will eventually be a part of our movement and community.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things when you think about something and you dream about it and it sounds fun, but then when you actually do it and it's done and you've created something from scratch that you've never done before, that feeling is just so good.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, it exists
I manifested something from nothing.
from nothing. Except it's
What's
always
new?
something.
What's new with you? What's going on in your world, KP?
Well, I feel fresh. It's spring. I know the rest of the world celebrates the new year in January, but it feel like I'm feeling like I'm literally feeling the spring in my step. I'm really, really feeling that this is the fresh start. Like this is that's why I was like, hey, maybe we could talk about that today. Actually, what's new is like physically the space I'm in. You can't really see very much, but I've decided to refresh the space that I'm in. So, you know that old adage of spring cleaning.
Mm.
I think when you really step into the version you're supposed to be in, then like you almost can't stand the old way. It's like literally stepping into like a new skin. And
Mm.
so I've been cleaning out closets and parts or spaces like in this office that's been bothering me. I'm actually doing something about it.
You're like
For the
literally spring cleaning,
like literally.
not just your space. I love it.
Yeah, what about you?
Oh my gosh, I've had such a good week. Family photos. We took some really cool ones I'm really excited about. So
So
cute.
fun to get those back.
I know, in the spring and it's so green and lush. So, anyway, super excited about that. And then, yeah, work side, I had a huge week, had a project go under contract in one day. It was wild. So,
Congratulations.
it has been an exciting week.
Yeah, and I didn't actually tell you this before in our real friendship, so I'm telling you right now live on the podcast. There's a lot of talk right now about the economy slowing down and things and then you sell this amazing house and get under contract within a day, under 24 hours. And it is a passion project. You said that like
Mhm.
it hits different when it's real and it's from love, and this was a real
Absolutely.
passion project for you and your team. So,
And I had so many
congratulations.
people react in shock, right? Because the real estate market is not the same across all types of product anymore.
Right.
And it is so fascinating to see how, at different frequencies, like in one frequency, something can hit so quick, and in other planes of houses that are out there, they're just sitting. And so
The
it's,
houses are just sitting on the market, right? And so one could be tuned into a frequency of scarcity and lack and say, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, the market's bad. This isn't the time to put this new beautiful home on the market. And yet, from a place of passion and love, your team has had a completely different experience.
Absolutely. It is wild.
That's
So
a higher
that's been
download,
really
baby.
fun to see. That is a higher download. And I have to say one other, I know higher downloads is so many shifts in perspective, and I love that has been so juicy this last week. But I feel like synchronicities are also a really
Huge.
similar thing that happened where you're like, whoa, shift in perspective. And I had this wild story happen. We are have the house for another couple of weeks until it sells. So we've been having lots of events. And someone came by, part of a community group, and they walk in the front door and the home is staged. There's some artwork and
Hmm.
furniture and all that. She walks in and she can't talk. She's literally the painting that you see when you walk in the front door that's on the wall. She is literally floored. She can't talk. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm being so rude right now, but I am having a complete moment. Apparently, it is the actual painting in the frame that she bought as like a special item in Mexico when she built her first house with her husband 20 years ago, that she
What?
had sold on like Facebook Marketplace or something, hadn't seen it in 19 years.
Chills.
Yes. And so we're literally, the stager is one of our good friends who is coming to, and we call her and she's like, where did you get this? Well, anyway, that artwork is now going back to her original home because it's so now looking back, she sees how nostalgic and how symbolic that was. That was like their first home and the feature art in that home. And it was so, I'm like, this house has been so synchronistic. And then to have that happen, it was stars absolutely aligned. It was so cool.
I did not know this. It's amazing. And the word that keeps coming to me, this like the download I'm getting right now is homecoming.
Mm, yeah.
Like this painting is coming home to her. The people who are under contract are coming home to this space.
Mhm.
You have come home to yourself because this passion project has allowed you to really feel like in your fully expressed, like authentic professional fucking self.
I totally agree. It is wild. And I feel like when you follow the little trails of, I want to do this, my heart is in this, and amazing things happen. People meet, you meet people, they meet other people, and things like this happen. And it's just, it's one of those things where, like, the moment is
Oh,
meant.
it's when the universe, when my scalp tingles, that's the real big one. Okay, so, and then the other thing that is coming to me right now as you're speaking is like the idea of homecoming is like you said that if you follow your passion, like Katie, just imagine if you had never done this. Like
Mm.
this, and I'm huge into the ripple. So just like to think about, or you're with the butterfly effect, like think about all the people that are benefiting because you chose to follow your passion.
Yes. So fun. It's so fun.
It's rebirth. It's
It is.
rebirth.
It is. Okay, rebirth, spring. Yeah, what were you saying about spring? I feel like you were onto something there. And I was really resonating with like fresh, we're right after Easter. Tell me more about the spring.
Okay. Well, so this, what I've felt in my body for forever since I was a little girl, like I always remember we had big azalea bushes in front of our house, and some were pink and some were red. And I just remember like when the azaleas bloomed is when I felt like as a child, I've been doing a lot of inner child work, so I've been very much resonating with my inner child. And I remember when the azaleas bloomed, it was like I felt like I came alive. And I've always, like, I've jokingly, but also not joking at all, corporate especially, I've always told everyone I hate Q1.
Hmm.
I hate Q1, and for those who aren't in corporate, Q1, the first quarter of the year, usually the calendar year, January, February, and March. I don't know, it's like everybody's supposed to be starting new things and creating New Year's resolutions, and I'm just like, maybe there's some seasonality thing that people say, I
Little
forgot what the word is.
seasonal depression, but
Yes, with winter and stuff like in gray and the trees are bare. I'm like, this isn't the time to start. My body's still
Mhm.
hibernating. And I did kind of feel like a little bit of a bear. And so it's like
I
when the azaleas pop, I'm like, here I am.
It is. Well, I first of all, if you don't know what Q1 is, I congratulations. I feel like that's
Congratulations if you live a life without Q1.
I love it. But I totally agree. I always felt like Q1, you would get to the end of it and it was like, I don't feel like I really started at the beginning of this, so I'm behind. So I
Hmm.
agree. I have had that same feeling of You get midway through February in Q1 and you're like, oh, I'm halfway through, but I haven't done halfway of what I need to do. It just doesn't
Yeah.
feel natural, I guess.
No. Okay. So then, a couple years ago, I went to Miraval, which is a wellness
Mhm.
retreat.
So
Fabulous, luxurious, privileged, beautiful. You could go there and like just do yoga and get spa treatments, but like there's also a big, deeper spirituality. And anyway, it happened to be I was completely oblivious because I was in corporate burnout and I
Mhm.
was completely oblivious. But I go to like schedule all my stuff with the scheduler, and she's like, "You don't want to miss this. It's the spring equinox event." And I'm like,
Mm.
what the hell's the spring equinox? Maybe have I seen that on my a calendar one time? And she's like, yes, we're gonna have sound baths, and the resident astrologer is gonna be there, and she's gonna do, and then we're gonna have a poet read a poem, and it's just not to be missed because it's the spring equinox. So I pretended like I knew what she was talking about. But anyway, the spring equinox is like, this the Earth's axis is tilting toward the sun, and now it's this balance of time and renewal, and been celebrated for centuries, thousands of years, and it's recognizing that plants are emerging from dormancy, animals are preparing for breeding, like the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was at that event, they kept talking about all these ancient wisdoms and cultures who normally align their natural cycles with the spring being the start of the new year.
Well, I mean, that's so true because isn't the Lunar New Year? That's not January 1, right? Am I making that up? Chinese New Year? I don't know.
Chinese New Year.
Yeah. Wow.
No, no.
Really, the feeling of that totally resonates. Of like, I feel like the waking up part is more in the spring of March. When is it? April? Is it April? I
April
don't know.
1st starts Q2. But yeah, I think, yeah, April, right? And then the Persian New Year is
Mm.
also celebrates and starts the year with spring equinox. And I saw that several indigenous cultures will mark their yearly cycles beginning with the first signs of spring, like the buds on trees and things like that. So
Wow.
it's like a reminder that our biological basis, despite all these thousands of years, despite what we eat and the chemicals we have, our food and water and air, our bodies still remember.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the aliveness part, right? Yeah. The seasonal depression, I feel like goes such in line with that. If you just aren't
I
getting your
know.
sunshine, it feels down. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm alive again. Sunshine.
Yes, I know it's a little controversial, and I don't love losing the hour, but man, daylight savings, give me that
Yes.
sun.
I
Give me
know.
the sun for longer.
I like the extra sunlight.
So
Well,
what are you, okay, so so like, are you feeling more alive? Are you feeling more aligned with new
I
beginnings
am.
or?
But I also feel for me that spring really starts to amplify our social schedule. And sometimes it
Oh,
doesn't take long to feel overbooked.
okay.
And so I often feel like, yes, I'm alive. It feels good outside. And now I'm ready to go do all the water activities because in Texas it gets warm quick and we can do all the splash pads and all the pools pretty soon. And then all of a sudden I'm feeling more of a sense of urgency or a little bit of that like rush energy because I want to do all the things.
Mm-hmm. The image that's coming to me is little rabbit. So, it's like springs and bunnies, but then like bunnies are busy hopping. Yeah, I mean, school doesn't even end till the end of May here in Texas, but my son's like first grade program is tomorrow. The end of school field day is next week. And this is just for this is the end of April right now that we're
Mhm.
recording this. So it's like they still have a month left of school, but I hear you. It's like
Right.
the things are stacking up.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, and we just had Easter, and that's fun, especially with kids these days.
Oh my God, can you
Our
just
lives.
quickly tell people what new fun thing you
Oh
did with
my
your kids
gosh.
for
So
Easter?
thank you, Instagram Reels, for showing me something that I think was a viral thing, but I don't know. But basically, we had my husband have on a t-shirt and we taped eggs around his waistline on the t-shirt with money in the eggs, and the kids chased him.
I love it. And I love that the girls are like, there's money in these eggs, so we're really going after dad.
Hyped up. And it was so fun. We had parameters around basically the front yard. So they had to stay within the front yard boundary. And he basically just tried to outrun them while they were like grabbing the eggs off of him. It was hilarious. And we quickly realized that, he's not a runner. So thankfully we didn't have too many eggs because he was worn out
He was. I didn't even
running
ask.
for a
Yeah.
few minutes straight, which is not, that's just, and at high adrenaline, really trying to outrun them. So it didn't last very long. It was great.
I love
Highly
that.
recommend. We still did a regular Easter egg hunt that morning, but
Uh-huh.
this was our little fun activity for the afternoon. Bonus treat.
Bonus, hysterical.
Yeah.
Love it.
Did y'all do Easter egg hunt or what? How was your Easter?
We had a great Easter. It's so funny because we have one child and a small family, and I simultaneously am jealous of families that have these like 15-year, 40-year traditions. We do this every year. I'm like, wow, that must be so special to always have that to look forward to. And yet, still, a 40-year tradition would make me feel like I had a turtleneck and a weighted blanket on me. I'm saying, like, it's too suffocating. That's way too much pressure.
I totally
Um,
agree.
I think that's my Gemini rising.
I was gonna say that is my Gemini because I'm like, don't not hold me down to a commitment. I don't want it. It feels like a
Right.
trap.
Yeah, so for my husband and I, our thing is like our best tradition is to honor what our family wants and needs that year.
Love that.
Yeah,
Intentional. So intentional.
it is, and we're trying to show that to our son, and we're including him now as he's older enough, like to help make the plans. And yet, still, there's a nice balance because it was the third year that we went to San Antonio, which is just like an hour, just over an hour away drive from Austin. So it feels far enough away, but it's like easy. And we just did, there's so many fun things to do there. And we went to this incredible interactive light
Yeah,
exhibit
I
called
saw a
Hopscotch.
wild video. Tell me about that.
Okay, this place is the place to get some higher downloads slash overstimulated. You design your life away that you're
Post
not going to have a seizure.
meditation only.
Yeah, it's intense. There were incredible and beautifully done art installations, but they're all interactive. And my jam is experiential. Like that's my
Yes, that's all
so
about it. Yeah.
yeah, so there's like this cool ball pit. But the best part, I'll just skip to the best part, is was this quantum trampoline. It's this huge bouncy, it's not quite trampoline material, but it's bouncy material, really big, like I don't know, like 30 or 40 yards wide
Wow.
and then has all these walls around it and the lights are all going. But the best part is quantum, right? Energy, and wherever you go and however you bounce on the walls and on the trampoline on the bottom and on the ceiling, it follows you almost like red light, not red light, infrared light,
Yeah.
and you can see your energy moving and you can like throw your energy to people and you can see when you
Oh,
bounce, you can see like bouncy energy coming up. And it was just,
so it's like picking up on your heat waves or something and putting it
yes.
like the video was just like rainbow beauty, very much like our logo, like our
Yeah, yeah, like our
rainbow beauty, and it was so cool.
let's take a podcast field trip.
I absolutely, it is done. We're gonna get some extra downloads while we're there.
Yeah, it was really really cool. So anyway, it was the third time we've been to San Antonio, and for some reason somewhere my son got this idea that if you do it 3 times, it's a tradition. So he was like, "It's a tradition." But we had a great brunch. We ate some great food. We shopped. We just had fun. We're with my in-laws, and it was nice. Then we came home and had an Easter egg hunt with neighbors, and yeah, just real, just light and airy, kind of like spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh, Very different though from childhood.
yeah. So did you go to church?
Did
I
not.
did not go to church.
Did you?
No, I did not go to church. And I didn't go home. I got a lot of questions. Are you going home to your parents' house for Easter?
Mm.
Like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna stay home and yeah, not
What
not
felt good about that for you and your family?
it definitely felt like if we had done it, it would have felt like an obligation.
Mm.
I didn't really want to go. So, truthfully, I mean, I grew up in Texas and East Texas and South Texas during my childhood, but then I moved to East Texas when I was in middle school and high school, which is if you don't know, called the Bible Belt. It's literally the Bible Belt where they still have dry counties, like no drinking, no dancing, like some of these old Baptist rules or current Baptist rules. I don't know. But so yeah, that's what I grew up around. And it just isn't something that we practice. Church doesn't feel important for us as a family, and making the trip just for that to make somebody else feel happy. I mean, we got invited, more of like a, hey, are y'all going to come for Easter and I'll go to
Hmm.
church and do the Easter egg hunt, and it just didn't feel that exciting. So we took a little bit of like downtime to just enjoy the weekend together.
Love that. Yeah. That in me wants to honor that in you, like of what felt right for your family. Yeah, so my husband and I have been together for half our lives, which is unique.
Mhm.
And so he's seen a big change in me. There were times for Easter, I remember specifically in New York. We were visiting in New York for Easter because we like to travel for Easter. That's just been a thing. It's been more of a tradition for him and his dad. We were in New York, and I was adamant because I was raised Catholic, so Easter, Jesus rising from the dead, this,
And
like I had
Pope
to be there.
Francis too.
What's that?
And Pope Francis just died too, right?
I know I was gonna get there.
All of that's
Well,
going on.
it's a lot, and it's a lot. Even though I am not an active practicing Catholic right now, the Catholic faith in my upbringing is still very much a part of me. It's a beautiful piece and part of me. And so when the Pope died, oh wait, hold on, real pin in the Pope. Oh gosh. But I was just gonna say in New York, I wanted to go to the cathedral and like made Paul go
Yeah.
with me, and it was this whole thing, and it was one of the most beautiful ceremonies, and the Easter hats, and just so gorgeous. And the biggest thing I remember though was I had to take a cab, and then I like left my cell phone in the cab, and it was this
Oh
whole big
no.
thing, and I felt all this guilt around like, oh, like I made you go to church, I made you go to mass, and so there you go, guilt and Catholic,
There
those
you
go well together.
go. It's like two peas in a pod.
Yeah. So yeah, so church is a whole nother thing, but can we circle back to Pope Francis?
Yes, I know. I mean, I'm not Catholic, and I was raised around Methodist, but not Catholic. So I only know, with a separation about the Pope and all that. But he seemed like so cool. I don't know. I didn't follow all the other popes, and he's been around for a few years. And so it's maybe I just have been paying attention more and getting a little older and paying attention to these things. But he seemed really cool and different. Is that right?
To me, yeah. Well, he was for sure different, and I don't know that people liked different to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different comes with a difference of opinion, but I have struggled with the Catholic dogma for a while. Being raised and conditioned a certain way and then exposing to the world and realizing like I actually believe that love is love and people should be able to marry whoever they want. I would absolutely never choose an abortion for myself, but I believe every woman should have that right. Like, so just things that have shifted for me and like, that doesn't smell right for me. Doesn't feel right for me. So because of that misalignment, I had to make some pretty clear choices for myself. But I will say when Pope Francis came on the scene and he embodied the Christ like consciousness, the Christ like behaviors that I learned about eating with the homeless, like visiting and talking to prostitutes, just all the things that like you would like with Christ, like the Christ like Pope Francis embodied that, you know?
Absolutely.
So it wasn't this like because I could imagine being the highest ranking official of one of the largest religions in the world, even if as a religious person could still come with a lot of ego. And he very humbly modeled servant leadership.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, the whole Christ-like. So I think I forgot to finish my thought earlier, but when I was going into being raised in the Bible Belt and
Oh,
having that context,
yeah.
part of it was around Easter was I feel like I've healed a lot of some of the like childhood trauma around church and pressure, right? I've come into my own willingness to say whatever feels right for me, even though I used to totally feel embarrassed or ashamed to say like, no, I'm not die hard Baptist and going to church
Same,
every
Katie, because
Sunday,
it's
right?
because it's not just the church like the Bible Belt and in my hometown was so Catholic. The church doesn't stop at the walls of that church.
No,
It
it
bleeds into the
doesn't.
community. It becomes a part of the culture. So yeah, it's bigger. I
Yeah.
get it. Sorry, please keep going.
No, no. And you're making me remember a story. I remember
Oh, good, share.
somebody I was dating in high school or casually talking with, or whatever you called it when you were teenagers. I don't know what the word is now. But I remember I didn't know what I thought because I grew up Methodist, no pressure, moved to Baptist East Texas, where it was very expected that you were a
Mm.
Baptist at church. Didn't fit in. And I remember I didn't know what I thought. I didn't know what I believed. I really hadn't done a lot of education around it. So I didn't even know what I didn't know. And I
Mhm.
remember him saying, well, it's okay. You don't have to go to church as long as you believe in God. And I remember freezing up and going, I don't know if I believe in God. I don't even know. It wasn't a
Mm.
default yes, I hadn't bought in, but I remember feeling that social pressure in that moment. It was like he was literally saying we couldn't be friends if I didn't believe in God. Like that was a prerequisite for him. And I
Yeah.
remember that being a very pivotal moment of like, I need to be careful about saying what I do or don't know because
Wow.
there's going to be real consequences in my life if I don't fit in.
And those moments could be so inconsequential. I would guarantee this gentleman, wherever he is now, would never remember that moment. But for you, the way that gets stored in your body and your memory, and the story that you tell yourself around, is it safe for me to believe what I believe?
Mm-hmm.
A, and then B, tell people,
Yeah.
share, speak that truth, live that essence.
Is it
That
safe
stuff
to
is real.
question?
Is
Yeah.
it safe
Is
to
it safe to
question?
question it or even not know? So anyway,
Different.
yeah, difference. And then I realized this Easter because I feel so much more peace around all that. I don't feel the same sense of like freeze on that topic. And so this Easter, I got really curious and I started, my husband did way more in religion and all that all through high school, even some in college and all that, more involved. And so I started just asking questions and I'm like, what exactly is Easter? Like, what is everyone that has all these different faiths? What is it even tangibly meaning? So I went down the rabbit hole and found all kinds of videos and I don't know if you've ever heard this. Tell me if this is something you have heard. But my husband informed me that apparently the Easter egg is like you pop it open like the cave where Jesus died. Is that something you've ever heard of, or is that just some other?
Well, like plastic Easter eggs are supposed to be symbolic of the cave.
I don't know. That's just
You
what he
know,
told me.
I'm like
That's what sparked my
90%
curiosity.
sure. I'm 90% sure that I was at a church service where the children at the front did that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that really got me going. So I was like, whoa, I thought we were just, I'm like, I never thought about why we were doing an Easter egg hunt, really, other than it's
Well, the
fun.
eggs also are a reminder of rebirth. Like
Birth.
it's,
Okay.
yeah,
Love it. New life.
new
Okay.
life, new life.
All
Even
right.
though we're eating them.
And there's like treats
Sorry, I just thought about.
inside. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I got really curious and I felt very excited later of, wow, okay, I'm learning so much and resonating with so much of this cool stuff, but also sniff testing other things. And, I feel more informed, which felt good that I had even given myself space to be curious.
Yeah, because basically what you just set up for us was you had a moment of freeze and lack of safety. And all these years later, you felt unfrozen and safe enough that you could just even explore it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Totally.
See, that is something I also appreciated about Pope Francis. Like, so he definitely inspired me. He really warmed me up to the like and gave me hope that more just like any religion or any large organization, you could imagine that different geographies and things have their own flavor of it, right? So same thing with Catholic. It gave me hope that the head of the church would have that effect on that downstream effect on the rest of the church of that like just the servant leadership, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I remember he welcomed questioning.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And he
Okay.
reminded people that, like, Jesus was like, bring me your questions, bring me your curiosity. And, like, Jesus has teachings to reflect that God is within you. And so seek within, and the Pope talking a lot about I can't ever say the word, you know what I mean? Contemplative
Contemplative, yeah.
practices. Yeah. Yeah. And not always having to seek externally. So that was one thing I really admired about him.
That's
Yeah,
yeah, that's really cool. You're sparking my memory because I also went and found this 17-minute YouTube video that was basically the entire story of the Bible in 17 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned a lot. Probably not a lot, but still. I just didn't know the whole timeline in the story. And one of the things that really stood out, sorry, is the contemplative practice, like you said, in seeking within yourself versus seeking externally, right? And the idea in the story about that we're naturally bad and like that
Mm,
humans have sin and that, you know, they died for your sin, or like just the idea that humans are bad and that there's some kind of fixing to be done. And that's really, I remembered this is why it just didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, I don't feel bad. I don't, when I look in my own soul and I connect and I think about, okay, what am I being told right now? What are my higher downloads? And whenever I listen to my heart, it's like that's all pure, and it's so it's hard for me to resonate with a lot of the stuff around the sinning and like that humans are bad.
I'm having some serious downloads with you saying that because you've not said it to me in that way before. It's like they're coming at me so fast. I'm having the thought of Dr. Becky's
Let
good
it out.
inside parenting moment, trying to remind parents to remember that their children are actually good inside instead of like, and then I'm all kinds of, I do leadership coaching and keynote speaking and consulting in organizations. And I'm thinking a lot about how there's leadership orientations where a lot of managers or leaders believe it's literally their job to keep employees in line because if they don't, they're bad and they will absolutely break company policy and take advantage of
Mm.
things.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, that's theory X, and then theory Y is really around like people are inherently motivated, good, happy,
Yes.
excited, and they just need to be guided. They needed support, they need empowerment, and they need resources. And so like, whew, I'm having all these like things fly at me from my own experience just with you saying one of the insights you got from the 18-minute Bible.
You're so right, because even I feel like that lens, because you know, religion is there's billions and billions and billions of people that have beliefs about something outside of us, right? But this idea of like that particular religious framework of people are bad, and then you go take that to
Mm.
your job and your management, your leadership, and your children, and it bleeds everywhere if that's your fundamental. I almost think of it like you've got lenses, like you've got green lenses, and it's showing you this, or you change the color and you're seeing
Change
everything
the
through a
color and you
different
see
lens.
it different. So at Hopscotch, there was a room like that. My God, it was so cool. So there's wallpaper on all four walls, and you could tell that there was like a jungle theme or a snake or a cheetah or something. And when the light turned red, it was like boom, cheetah, snake.
Oh
And
my
then the
God.
light literally turned like green, and then it was like, wait, what? There's like an indigenous person, and look at this thing. But the
Wow.
wallpaper was the same, but only the light changed in the room.
Stop. That's incredible. We have
Yeah,
to go back because
yes.
it's just all about like this is bringing in it's all about what frequency. Like you're going to see whatever, you know, frequency that you're on and change the frequency, change and see something else. Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, and you see it applied in so many different ways, right? Like I can't unsee it now.
Well, this
Yeah,
is,
and okay, so that's why our next topic's going to need to really center on embodiment
yes.
because I'm also having a download right now about why, with my Catholic guilt upbringing, I embodied, even though I was like such a goody two shoes and learned, like, even like, remember learning how to drive and seeing a police officer and being like, oh, freaking out. And I was going like 5 or 10 miles under the speed limit but inherently, like, oh gosh, I was about to get caught because that police officer's job is to keep us people who are going to
Absolutely.
sin.
There is so much around that.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Embodiment.
All right, but before we do that, spring refresh. What are you doing? How are you feeling about spring? And then let's do a recent download. And
Okay. Well, recent download, I basically shared like eight today. There was a quick story I wanted to share about the Pope.
oh yeah,
I feel you wanting to get us to wrap up, and I will, but can I just share this one about the Pope because it
please,
touches on a lot of the things about people are good.
please do.
On his 77th birthday, which of course I love because I'm obsessed with the number seven, he tells his people for his birthday he wants to dine with the homeless. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to Rome or the Vatican. I have, and it's just incredible. But there's a lot of homeless people in the Vatican, especially Vatican Square, begging really, for tourists. But he wanted to invite them to his morning mass and invite them to his guest house where he actually lives for breakfast, like an
Mm,
intimate breakfast.
love that.
And his people go out, or so the story that I heard said the people go out, his people go out to gather homeless to invite them in, and a couple people couldn't go because they had dogs.
Yeah.
And so it gets reported back that like, oh, we have found a few other people, but they have dogs. And Pope Francis said, those dogs are their companions. We can't separate them. Invite the dogs in too. And
Mm.
here it goes,
Uh-oh.
lump in the throat. But anyway, they all got to eat with him, and that is that servant leadership. That's the Christ like. That's the like I dine and eat with the least among us, you know? So that like that's that tying in for me of like what is spring and rebirth? A reminder that like we are all one. We are all
Mhm.
one in the fabric. The highest of us is the least among us. Like and just I don't know, for me that story ties in with everything we're talking about with spring. It ties in servant leadership. It ties in good inside
Oh yeah.
and because anyway,
No,
okay.
that's
I
that's
really wanted to tell that story because for me it kind of
it's
tied it
so
together.
that's such a beautiful story. And it's really about, I think about openness, because I feel like anytime
Mm.
you're creating separation, right? Oh, whatever the beliefs are of like not letting those people into your home, maybe you don't trust them or their dogs are a problem or whatever, but all that is separation. And really, it's about connectedness and openness. And I feel like for me, spring is when that really hits full speed of, okay, I'm open, I'm free, the weather's getting nice, it's beautiful outside. Maybe relationships that had dwindled over the holidays because everyone's busy traveling. And everyone's
Yes.
back. They're like, let's hang out. Let's go to a brewery. Let's have fun, have a play date. So that's what I'm bringing into the next couple weeks. And I really have been feeling that energy. So I'm glad. I'm glad we hit on this.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think you were asking me. I think that's one of the things I'm going to honor right now is well, I'm going to continue the spring cleaning. We've got many spaces to do. But you said that about relationships, and I think, and just even reflecting on the Pope, it reminds me like there are a few people I have in mind that I need to reach out to and just say like, thank you. You were, or because of this, it was a springboard for me. I don't think we do enough of that where we thank people who help spring, who serve in some catalyzing, or back to your story at the beginning of this, the synchronicities, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to take that on as my own little spring challenge as
I
well.
love it. Spring forward. Well, until our next highest download comes in and we chat again.
And hello, listeners. Please, on any of the social media or any of our ways that you can reach us, share if you've had any spring awakenings or insights. We would love to hear.
Love it. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye. You just experienced another higher download. We are so grateful you joined us on this journey.
Yep. So if you're feeling that high vibe energy and want more, subscribe wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if this episode sparks something in you, we'd be over the moon if you'd share it with someone who might need this download too.
Yep. Connect with us on Instagram at Higher Downloads, where we share more behind the scenes magic and some bonus content.
You can also find full episodes, transcripts, show notes, and resources at higherdownloads.com.
Until next time, trust your downloads and keep vibrating higher.